Sup, y'all? It's me. It's your boy Asmongold, and today I want to give you guys a guide on how to defeat Agatha as a Fury Warrior. Now, Agatha is one of the new bosses that's added into 7.2 as one of the prestige bosses that you have to defeat in order to unlock the special artifact appearance in your class order hall for your artifact weapon. Now, the way that it works is whenever you have the Mage Tower active, you can talk to the NPC right outside the Mage Tower, and if you have the new traits for your weapon unlocked, you're able to talk to her, and your first attempt, I think it might be for the day or overall, is free. It costs nothing, but after you do that first attempt, and trust me, you will probably have to do a few attempts, you have to pay 100 nether shards every single time that you want to retry the boss. So that means that if you actually want to get this done, make sure that you save up realistically probably 3,000 to 5,000 nether shards, just so you're not stressed out about it. Now, the Mage Tower is not going to be up forever. In North America, I believe it's still up right now, so you can take advantage of it, but soon it's going to be destroyed by the Legion, and that bar is going to have to fill itself all the way back up, which means that if you want to do this, you want to take advantage of it now. Now, I'm going to be showing you this from a Fury Warrior's perspective, and that doesn't necessarily mean that this strategy doesn't work for anybody. The overarching strategy that I'm showing is going to work for any of the different classes that get Agatha assigned to them to defeat. So I believe that's like Unholy DKs, Fire Mages, Feral Druids, and maybe a couple of other ones. And all of those can fight Agatha, and obviously this is very, very difficult to do, right? You probably need at least 900 item level to do this, if not more like 905 or 910. It's extremely hard to do, and that means that you need to be bringing everything into this as possible. Make sure you have a flask, a food buff, a rune, drums of war if you don't have heroism naturally. Make sure you have all that stuff in here to make this as easy as possible. All you have to do really is beat her once, so you want to put as much into it as possible, because also you're wasting your nether shards if you're not doing that. So on top of that, I do want to say that for each different class, the strategy will differ a little bit, so this is going to be tailored towards Fury Warriors, but for any class it works just fine. Now, before I actually start the clip, I do want to kind of do a base kind of, an overview of what the fight is going to be. So you're going to be summoned into a room, and in that room is this big fat chick, and you've got to kill her and all of her imps. Now, the main mistake that I see a lot of people making, and I've seen a lot of people doing in other streams, is they focus on damaging down the boss over the ads. This is primarily an ad fight, which means that you want to be spec'd entirely for killing ads and also for surviving. The best legendaries that you can use here, some people are suggesting Pyraz. I personally don't think that's necessary, especially if you have a couple of pieces that you can switch on that have leech on that aren't really that much of a DPS loss. The legendaries that you really want to go with, if you're not going with Pyraz, for the extra survivability, you can go with the Whirlwind belts. You can obviously go with the helmet, which is strong. Sifus is good because you're going to be proccing it basically on cooldown, and also the legendary bracers are good. The two that I killed the boss with was the Whirlwind belt and also the legendary bracers for the healing. So also for your spec, what you want to do is you want to go with let's see, I'm trying to think like what it is. What is the spec here? War Machine, Double Time, Wrecking Ball. And usually you want to use Avatar, and I was using Avatar a lot, but especially whenever you combine Wrecking Ball with the Legendary Belt, it makes it that much better. So you want to use Wrecking Ball. Avatar isn't completely out of the question. I'm pretty sure I could kill it with Avatar too, but I believe Wrecking Ball is better just because of how important it is to kill the ads. Your 61 should be Furious Charge, Frothing Berserker, Inner Rage, and Reckless Abandon. That is pretty much all the same. So whenever you fight her, there's going to be a number of different ads that spawn. I believe there's 4 different ads that spawn. The first 2 ads that spawn are Imp Servants. Now, Imp Servants spawn in the back of the room, and they're going to run up to Agatha, and they're going to channel a beam onto her that's going to heal her over time. So that means that you want to make sure that you're stopping that heal as fast as possible, although actually interrupting and killing those ads might not necessarily be your top priority. There's 4 different types of ads, and so micromanaging which one you're going to kill first and how you're going to deal with them, it has to be kind of, I'm going to give you guys baseline like rules, right? So whenever the 2 ads spawn, I would say just go back, kill the 2 ads, interrupt them. You can also go with Shockwave too, by the way. I want to mention that. I personally went with Shockwave. Other people went with Double Time. I feel like Shockwave is better because it allows you to control the ads, especially whenever they spawn in a big pile. Because some of the other ads that spawn are the Smoldering Imps. I believe that's what they're called. Yeah, Smoldering Imps. And the way they work is every single time they cast a spell, they do more damage. So you want to interrupt them and kill them as fast as possible. Not interrupt, you just want to kill them as fast as possible. It's not a very high priority, but if you allow them to stay alive for a very long time, they will actually ramp up in damage and be very deadly. So the Imp Servants heal her, and so you want to interrupt and kill those as fast as possible. Fuming Imps as well. Fuming Imps, basically they run to you, and whenever they actually come in contact with your character's model, they will cast an ability that will cause them to explode and put a pool of poison on the ground that's going to exist for the entire fight duration. So that means that you want to either kill them before they're able to cast that. Stunning them and fearing them also allows them or stops them from doing the cast. Or you can make sure that whenever you do have them explode, it's not in an area that you're going to have to run across, because not only does it slow you down, but it also deals damage. So it's very, very annoying to deal with, to say the least. The last type of imp I'm going to talk about is the Umbral Imp. Umbral Imps teleport around, and on top of teleporting around, they also make the boss Agatha immune to damage. So usually I would prioritize Umbral Imps over everything else, and then move over to the Imp Servants, depending on what else is happening. Also, Agatha casts another ability. What is that ability called? It's called, one second, sorry, Dark Fury. Dark Fury. Whenever Dark Fury is cast, Agatha puts a shield on herself. I think it's for about 4 million damage, or 4 million shield. So you want to break through that shield as fast as possible, and then interrupt Dark Fury. While that shield is active, you're not able to interrupt Dark Fury, and also whenever the Umbral Imps are up, she's not able to take damage, and so she can just freely cast Dark Fury. Dark Fury basically is an AoE ability, or it's really AoE or it's targeted, it doesn't matter. It deals damage to you, and the more ticks of it that she gets off, the more damage it deals, to where if you don't interrupt it and stop it immediately, you're going to have a lot of trouble. Now, it's basically an ad control fight all the way up until 50% and all the way through the fight. But the first phase is relatively simple. Whenever she reaches 50%, what's going to happen is she's going to basically teleport away, and she's going to teleport up to the top of the cave, and boulders are going to come down. Now, you have to avoid those boulders. That's it. You do have to avoid the boulders. If you watch my stream, you'd know that's something that I didn't really do. So if they hit you, it's like 3 million damage and it's a stun. You're probably going to be dead if you get hit by a boulder. Now, Agatha will also teleport to the back and the front of the room. Not in the middle where she starts, but the back and the front of the room over time whenever you damage her down. Some people are saying that it's time-based. Other people are saying that it's percentage-based. I'm thinking that she might have it on on a fixed timer, and if you push her down a certain percent, it will force her to move to the other location, but I don't really know that whatsoever. Also, as a general rule, she's going to be summoning the Smoldering Imps with the Umbral Imps at the same time, so you want to save Odin's Fury and Battlecry for that point. So we're going to go ahead and watch the clip of myself killing it. And I know this has kind of taken a while for me to explain, and the reason for that is because this is a very hard fight, and I wanted to get everything out of the way before we actually even began actually looking at what you need to do. So again, right here, we're in Agatha's lair, and I do apologize for the quality, by the way. This is straight from my stream. I was unable, apparently after you complete this, you're not able to do it again. So I wasn't able to go back and redo it, maybe make a little bit of a cleaner attempt for the stream. So anyway, as you can see, I've got drums on my bar waiting for her to be active. Now, I'm using Draft of Souls and Convergence of Fates for my trinkets. Other people recommend using the Blacksmith Whetstone, I believe that's what it's called, and that's from COS. It's a really good AoE trinket. Personally, the reason why I used Draft of Souls is I felt like doing the boss damage was important, even though it might not be the top priority, and the real reason is because all my other trinkets suck. So I'm going to be using Convergence also, so I can get more battle cries to easily damage down the first ads. So as soon as you engage her, she casts a group of 3 Smoldering Imps. Charge in, pop all of your cooldowns, and first you want to use Odin's Fury, then Draft of Souls. I did that wrong, and that was just because I was changing up my talents. This is my first time doing it with the second set of talents. After that, she's going to summon 2 sets of imps. I jump back immediately to stop that imp, and the real reason I jump back is so the Fuming Imp, whenever it actually came in contact with me, would explode in an area that wouldn't conflict with any sort of other thing I'm trying to do throughout the duration of the fight. So having a pool there, it doesn't matter at all. Like, it doesn't interfere with anything else I'm doing in a fight. I immediately went and I killed both of those imps, and I did not use Shockwave for them, but I could have. And at this point, I'm going to be damaging her down. Now, whenever she reaches 100 mana, she's going to actually cast Dark Fury, which is whenever you need to do a lot of damage to her. This is a very important part in the fight for you to actually break this shield quickly, because soon she'll summon the Umbral Imps, and you want to make sure that you interrupt that spell before the Umbral Imps are actually cast, as you can see right there. I'm also kiting around the Fuming Imp so it doesn't actually get to me, and I'm also saving all my cooldowns for all of these ads to come up, and then I go ahead and I stun the Fuming Imp to stop his cast, and then I pop Battlecry, pop Odin's Fury, immediately kill all of the imps, and I probably should interrupt this right now. I don't know why I'm not doing it, probably because it was 6 a.m., and then I get back on the boss. Now again, we're going to be repeating this until she reaches 50%. So the third Fuming Imp is spawned, and I'm going to be kiting this Fuming Imp around, and then I'm going to be waiting for whenever all my cooldowns come up, and I'm going to kill that and kind of cleave it down with Draft of Souls, damage her down, immediately break the shield of Dark Fury, and then get ready for the next set of 2 ads that are about to spawn. So I broke the Dark Fury shield immediately, and also she gains a stacking passive damage increase every single time that she summons a set of ads. So that means that this is kind of a soft enrage, and you can't just take forever to kill the boss. So immediately after she summoned the second set of ads, the Imp Servants at least, I went back and I killed one immediately to stop the heal. Then I went back and I was kind of casually killing that one, waiting for the other ads to spawn. I used Battlecry with Odin's Fury to kill all of the other ads and clean all of them up, so I can have a very clean transition from phase 1 over to phase 2, while I get in position and actually get used to the boulders and everything, and position myself in a way that I'm not going to die. I'm not actually having to deal with ads on the way over there, and you know, I can set myself up in a good position. Now she casts another Dark Fury, and also the Imps. Now because Dark Fury does a lot of damage, and I don't want it to overwhelm me, I'm going to focus on her interrupting Dark Fury rather than actually killing the Imps. This is arguably a good idea or not, depending on what you're doing. Another reason why I chose to do that is because the other set of Umbral Imps will spawn soon, and if she was still casting Dark Fury whenever the Umbral Imps were up for that long, I would have died immediately. As you could see there, I took the Fuming ad away to the side to where the puddle would not actually interfere with the actual fight, and also fire spawns down, and as you guys can see, like the little Fellfire, it doesn't really do a lot of damage, but you also don't want to make a habit out of standing in it. All of the ads spawned again, and I was easily able to kill them. Now this is a very bad position that I put myself in here, because the Smoldering Imp could have, standing next to it right there, could have allowed me to basically get hit by a boulder, because sometimes they can be a little bit buggy, and it can be hard to understand where they are. So I interrupted that imp, and then I also brought it over to the second imp, and I used the 2 imps together plus Agatha to hit all 3 of them with Shockwave to reduce the cooldown on Shockwave to 20 seconds to allow myself better control, and also have it up for the next set of large ads, or next large set of ads. She casts Dark Fury again, and I'm still damaging her down. And again, she also casts that shadow thing, and as you can see, it wasn't 10%. Some people are saying it's 10%. It might be 10% whenever you don't count into the heals, but I don't really know. Anyway, going back to what I was saying, she teleports around. I save Heroic Leap for that, so I can immediately engage her whenever I go over there. And then we have more Imp Servants, and they always spawn in the middle of the room here. So I'm stunning these, and the reason I'm not popping cooldowns right now is I'm waiting for the Imp Servants to get over here so I can maximize my Odin's Fury damage by hitting not only the Smoldering Imps and the Umbral Imps, but also the Imp Servants that I know are coming down there. I waited for that boulder to go away, and then I went over and I charged and I killed that second one, interrupted that. I think I just killed it. It's kind of the same thing. Then I get back on Agatha. Also, I want to position myself in a way to where I can see where the boulders are going to be coming from. That Fuming Imp spawned right there. I allowed myself to run into it at that exact point because there was already an existing plague patch, so I knew if I ran on top of it, I would only be overlapping with an existing one, and thus not necessarily losing any more space. So again, she's casting Dark Fury and trying to interrupt that as fast as possible. And I used Draft of Souls right there to break that because I thought that the other ads were going to come out quickly. And now I kind of put myself in an awkward position. I should have maybe gone up there and started fighting her and waited for the imps to get over there, but I didn't want to get overwhelmed with these imp servants like I had in the previous attempts. So I chose to stay back here and actually kill these imp servants. And it put me in a really awkward position because now I have the other imps running at me. I kind of got lucky here in a way that the Fuming Imps ran over to me, which allowed me to stun and kill them very quickly, and also have one of them explode, and so I didn't need to worry about it. The other one's chasing me, and as they're chasing me, I'm going and just damaging them along the way. And then by the time I get over there and all the other imps are there, I'm able to use all of my cooldowns, and I also use Drums of Fury there to allow myself to kind of push through with that extra damage to actually clean up all of that set of ads, because I did have kind of that awkward transition from one side to the other. So here, I'm going to probably just go ahead and do the same thing that I've done before. I let that Fuming Imp explode. I'm going to try and get a Shockwave right here. I'm assuming, looks like maybe not. And trying to also use my Whirlwind procs to max my damage on 2 targets, so I can use my single target damage abilities on Agatha. And now Dark Fury is being cast again, interrupting Dark Fury. She's summoning back herself over to the other side, jumping so I do not get hit by the boulders, which happened a lot. And here, I'm going to go ahead and get on these ads immediately. If possible, you want to try and stun the Umbral Imps as fast as possible, because they do usually spawn in a pile, and they cast an ability called Translocate, which teleports them to another area. I immediately went over and I walked on top of that Fuming Imp to prevent it from actually, exploding in a position that was even worse than the one it did explode at. And here, I got on that Imp Servant, I interrupted it, I moved over to the second Imp Servant, and now I'm going to be controlling these as much as possible while maximizing my Whirlwind damage, because I have 3 targets and I'm using the belt. I tried to get the 3 with the Shockwave, but I wasn't really in the right position, so I didn't get the chance to do that. I'm standing inside the Shadow Lance or whatever, because I felt like my health was at a point at that point that didn't really matter too much. I again let that Fuming Imp try to explode and overlap at least a little bit with the pools that were already existing, and now I realized that she was so low in health, I was able to just pop Draft of Souls and kill her right there. And that's how much a boulder does. So anyway, guys, that's how you kill Agatha. That's what I did. I feel like this guide might be a little bit longer, but I feel like I talked about everything you guys need to know. Okay? Control the ads, CC the ads, kill the ads, save Odin's Fury for the ads. Agatha will die. Don't worry. Just deal with killing the ads and control them, and you're going to win this fight, no problem. That's pretty much all I got. So, thanks for watching, and like, comment, subscribe.